Hi, everyone. Mickey and Sully from Cairo News Radio. We're in the transportation department, and we are going to talk about some of the worst commutes in Washington state history.
And the reason why we're talking about this now is not all that long ago, we had a big, terrible commuting day. 2 hours and 40 minutes to come from Tacoma to Seattle. If you don't know how far that is, that's normally about an hour and 5-minute drive, maybe. So it was running 2 hours and 40 minutes, and it got us wondering, that was caused by a crash that blocked 2 lanes. What are some of the other ones that were actually just really worse? We're talking the Carmageddon kind of things, the Snowmageddon kind of things.
When Amazon workers went back to work kind of thing. Yeah,
definitely like that. So I'm going to start this off with probably an oldie but a goodie. 2015, the fish truck. Many people from Seattle, if you lived here then, will remember a truck carrying a bunch of fish overturned on the viaduct on downtown the Seattle waterfront. It blocked traffic and basically snarled the entire downtown for up to 10 or 11 hours.
That sounds fishy.
Yeah, it was fishy. And it got so bad that one of the soccer players from the Seattle Sounders who was stuck, there was a game that night.
Yeah.
He just abandoned his car and ran to the stadium so he could actually play the game.
What happened to his car?
I'm sure they probly towed it the next day. I'm sure he was able to get by. But yeah, a lot of people abandoned their cars who were going to that game. It gridlocked the entire town. I'm not kidding. Because here's one thing you got to know about Seattle geography. Water, lake, mountains.
Yeah.
Geography kills us to start with, so there really wasn't a lot of places to go.
One that I want to talk about, one epic commute was, remember last summer when a truck was headed southbound on I-5 and it had this tank in the back that it literally exploded and then flew off the truck, and then it started to explode on I-5, and then we had to shut it down. So people that were coming in from Everett into Seattle, it was like, turn around. Not happening. Commute times 3 hours, and we were actually telling people, if you absolutely have to make it into downtown Seattle, park at Northgate and take Link Light Rail into the city. You're going to get to your destination faster.
Yeah, I remember that one. It had a bunch of propane and metal tanks in the back, and they were like, pew, 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 like the end of Backdraft, right? Where everything's exploding up in the air. Like, it's crazy.
I know.
And dangerous, too. That was just right above the station.
That's right.
Another one to go with that and the fish truck, the bee NATO, as they called it, up in Linwood, where I-5 and 405 meet north of downtown Seattle by about 10 miles. A truck carrying 14 million honeybees flipped over at like 3:30 in the morning. First responders get there, and they're all over the place. Finally, they tried to get the bees and get them back together, but then by that point, they were PO'd, and they were mad. So the fire department killed them all. They had to use foam, and they killed 14 million honeybees because they'd become agitated and were going nuts all over, and that was preventing them from actually taking care of the wreck.
Do you remember that?
Oh, it's awful.
I can't remember the movie. I know maybe it was Tommy Boy, where they were pretending they were like, bees!
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, exactly.
Bees!
Bees to the car! Bees everywhere! God, they're huge! They're ripping my flesh off!
Yeah, that was horrible. And of course, I mean, we all know the environmental impact of that thing. Bees are so precious. We lost 14 million of them in one fell swoop. That was a disaster.
So another disaster was when Amazon required all of its workers to come back into the office in Bellevue to Seattle. The Lake Bridges, it was epic. This was just recent. This was just months ago. And everyone was going, why the heck is it taking so long? Like, if you lived in Issaquah and you worked for Amazon and you had to be back in the office, we're talking an hour commute just to cross the Lake Bridges. It was epic.
Speaking of the Lake Bridges, who can forget, we're going to go back to the old timey time machine on this one, 1990. We have floating bridges in Seattle on I-90 that float on the water. Well, 520 does as well. In 1990, it sank.
What?
Yeah, the old I-90 bridge, it was under construction. They were taking care of it because they were building the new one there. Yeah, it sank. The pontoon sank in the weather.
Wow.
Too much water got in and they sank. The cables broke. And so, yeah, the I-90 floating bridge stopped floating.
I have questions. That's sus, number one. Number two, were there cars on the
No,
road?
it was closed for some work as they were building the new one. But yeah, so so that one closed. Of course, the all-time favorite probably most people see when you think of any disaster movie or disaster show on TV about engineering, we have to go back to 1940 and Galloping Gertie. The original Tacoma Narrows Bridge that wasn't built to handle the side winds that come through there. And next thing you know is into Puget Sound, 1940. So that and of course, anytime it snows in Seattle, this place shuts down. I mean, we can get an inch, the whole place shuts down. We have hills, the snow is a lot thicker and wetter than other places in the country. Yeah, so those are probably our top ones. I know you could probably reply, give us your ideas. What was your favorite one? But yeah, let us know in the comments what you think, what we missed, or ones that we think we should check out. But yeah, we have a pretty
We just
bad
came up
history.
with these off the top of our heads, too. I mean, and there have been some pretty rough ones, but those were the first ones that came to mind.